Imagine waking up in the year 1250 in a remote farming village in medieval Europe to find that your family's only milk cow has been stolen in the dead of night, leaving behind nothing but muddy tracks leading into the dark woods. In our modern world, your reaction would be second nature. You would dial an emergency number, and within minutes, a trained, state-funded police officer would arrive to document the crime, analyze the scene, and search for the suspect. In the 13th century, however, there were no phones, no sirens, no police stations, as the very concept of a professional civilian law enforcement officer would not exist for another 600 years. For the vast majority of human history, keeping the peace and resolving disputes was not the responsibility of a centralized state, but a deeply personal, often violent, and highly collaborative community effort. In the earliest human societies and close-knit tribal bands, crime was rare because anonymity was impossible. Social pressure, public shaming, and the threat of exile were powerful enough to keep most individuals in line. Yet when severe crimes like murder occurred, early societies relied on the blood feud, a system of sacred vengeance where a victim's family was duty-bound to hunt down and kill the perpetrator or anyone from their clan. Because these cycles of retributive violence often threatened to destroy entire communities, humanity eventually developed early written legal codes to limit the damage. One of the earliest of these, the Babylonian Code of Hammurabi, introduced the concept of proportional justice, commonly remembered as an eye for an eye, to ensure that vengeance did not exceed the original offense. While early Germanic tribes implemented Wergild, a system of financial compensation where a murderer's family could buy back the peace by paying a specific value assigned to the victim's life. As populations exploded and ancient empires emerged, governments created specialized units to protect the state, such as Egypt's paramilitary Medjay scouts or Rome's Vigiles, who served as a night watch and firefighting brigade. Though these forces were designed to protect the ruling elite and state property rather than to solve everyday crimes for ordinary citizens. Following the collapse of these empires, medieval Europe reverted to local, community-driven systems of self-policing, notably the Anglo-Saxon Frank Pledge, which legally bound groups of 10 neighbors, known as a tithing, to collective responsibility, meaning that if one member committed a crime, the others were legally required to capture him or pay a heavy fine. When a crime was committed in real time, citizens raised the hue and cry, blowing